Niko Schultz, previously of Nebraska, now of Penn State. How you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. It's an honor.
Of course, of course. So I just wanted to first start off just by asking about we've been seeing a lot of the workouts, from the meta classes. How you feeling about going into indoor 2026?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling confident. I've never done any type of training like this before. And the type of guys I'm training with, man, it's next level. It's something that I think all 800-meter runners dream of like in a training group like that. Because at this point, it really don't even feel like a college training group. It feels more or less like a pro training group. So showing up to practice every day, man, it's nothing like you've ever seen before.
Right. Yeah, and it's evident as to like you got guys I've seen some of the videos like got a 142, 146, like a lot of just guys you needed to be mixed in with. So that was like seeing that as like wow, he's really where he needs to be like in terms of, you know, fitness wise. But like so I pretty hard workouts. I saw the 500 workout the other day. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that sounds like throw up and a half." But like especially just with being mixed in with different people. Like, what's the hardest workout that you've had to do so far?
So far, Penn State,
Yeah.
man. When you say the word hard, there's like different like levels to it, right? Because
Yeah.
like they'll give us something like 16 times 400, right?
Mhm.
Off of 1 minute rest at like let's say 64 or 63 seconds.
Oh my
And it's like
gosh.
something like that's gonna kill me because like my endurance sucks, right? So like
Mhm.
difficulties in terms of just like getting it done and like the amount of volume, it would be something like that. But then that 3x500 workout you just mentioned, right?
Mhm.
I'm a speed guy, so I love the lactic stuff. But before that, we did nothing to prepare for that type of workout. And so by
Yeah.
the third rep, you saw me literally just cut the workout. Like I was on the ground, I couldn't move for like 10 minutes. I had to cut the metas and I was just on the ground, like turning. I wanted to puke, everything hurt. So like it's a fine line. But honestly, bro, I did think that 16 times 400 workout got me the worst.
Yeah, because that's threshold. That's like for
That's
y'all.
like threshold, bro.
Yeah.
Especially for me, like I don't got a cross country background or anything like that. It
Yeah.
definitely took a toll on me.
Yeah, because you came from football. So like it's
Right,
a
right.
lot of it came in from speed to okay, now I'm doing track. And then but do you think just what's the hardest you transferred from Nebraska as we just said. So
Yeah.
you're still in Big Ten, but like what's the hardest thing about moving in that transition from Nebraska to Penn State?
Yeah, honestly, it's just the first 3 months. I mean, everything sucks when it comes to making new friends, when it comes to finding out where everything is, just getting acclimated, just feeling like this is your new home now. Because like I left a lot of good people behind in Nebraska, and it wasn't one of those things where I wanted to leave Nebraska. Like if I could have, like I would have stayed there. But it just came down to honestly just doing what's best for me in my career, and that's the reason I chose to go to Penn State. I wanted to be surrounded by the best, and I honestly felt like Nebraska was a great place for me. But if I wanted to go pro, if I wanted to get to that next level and achieve the goals of making it to the 2028 Olympics, I had to go around other Olympians. And like you said, the 142 guy was at Penn State. And he's actually the reason I'm at Penn State actually. He saw one of my TikToks that I made a while back when I was in the portal.
Uh,
And it was the one I crossed the line, and he was the dude who was doing that one celebration like this.
oh, he was
And
like, and then it was just you on the
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
saw
that was
that. Yeah.
him. That was him, bro.
Yeah.
And so he saw that video and he thought it was hilarious. And then he commented, he's like, "You know where the place like to be is." And
Yeah.
so he hit up his coach, and his coach got in contact with me, and the rest was history. So I think the transition's been great though, man. I couldn't be at a better place to be honest with you.
And that kind of speaks to like on the side part of that, how this platform that you've built has given you like because everybody can't do that like that. You got that opportunity specifically off of the stuff that like the online presence that you've built. Because if he didn't see that video, you might not be at Penn State, and then
I wouldn't be.
you may not get to LA because of so that's kind of crazy how that works. So.
Exactly. Exactly,
I'm
bro.
glad that you built it though, because I've been like I said, we've been tuned in for a long time, watching like since like sophomore year, just trying to
That's
see
crazy.
like
Y'all been watching since sophomore year?
yeah, like my boy it's a side thing about my boy Zeno, he at 150, 153 now. Like
Yeah.
we've been checking Tfers like yo, like we gonna see what he runs today. But yeah, that's like just when off of like everything else that we've seen in the past with like because the second I saw one of your videos, I was like, yo, this guy is like me. You're just so driven, so committed. We were even doing Duolingo at the same time.
I'm dead.
I cut that because I was not learning nothing but like um yeah, like you were just so disciplined with the things that you with everything going on that you have written in your schedule. So I just wanted to ask you, like, with your motivation for going, like, I think it was 144, making it to LA and making that 800 team, like, what is Niko Schultz motivation? Like, why is it that that is the thing that you want to do?
Man, that's a great question. Like, it's the motivation, honestly, it's just changed so much throughout the years. Because before I got to college, bro, the motivation was like to get a D1 scholarship, right? And so
Mhm.
that was my motivation that was been pushing me ever since I was like a kid. Just like I want to go D1, I want to go to the Big Ten. And then
Yeah.
once I finally achieved that, the focus shifted to be like, okay, like I want to try to become a Big Ten champion. I want to try to become one of the best 800-meter runners in the nation, right?
Hmm.
And in pursuit of that, now that I'm at one of the best 800-meter runner schools up there, and we're all trying to make it to nationals and do those type of things. The purpose is shifted to like, dang, I want to try to be like one of the best. Like, I want to try to get the Puerto Rican national record. Like that's kind of where my head's at now because I believe it's 143 like high, I believe. And
Hmm.
so like I want to be the first ever like Puerto Rican guy to go like 142, 141 on some crazy stuff, right? And honestly, bro, like the motivation comes and goes. I don't show up every day, bro, and want to do the things that I do. Like I don't show up every day and want to do 20 times 200 off 1 minute rest, right? Or post content and stay up all night editing videos. Like those are things I don't want to do, but the discipline to like put myself in a better position for the future, and I know that it's gonna like reward me like the delayed gratification that I know like the future me is gonna appreciate the things I put in now. Like that's why I wake up and put in the work day in day out.
That's a great answer. Because like you said, I loved how you said, it's not you're not motivated. Like motivation is such a curse. Like it's not you're not
It's
motivated to
not,
do because
bro, at all.
sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. But the key is discipline and doing it even when you don't feel like doing it. Like that's a superpower and like where you have to be at. Um so yeah, that was okay. This is something you wanted as a kid. I can resonate with that for real. But
Yeah, bro, it's just changed, bro. It just changed. Like I always wanted to be a football player, and then
mhm,
bam, once I got to like the high school level, and I was like a junior in high school, and I was one of like the top ranked guys in Illinois for track. I was just like, bro, I gotta drop football because like I'm gonna like pass up on such a good opportunity to become a really
mhm,
good track athlete. So I was like,
yeah.
I just gotta like your motivation and your dreams are gonna end up changing. But I ended up in the same place. I always wanted to go to the Big Ten. I made it to the Big Ten. I always wanted to like have a platform and do different things. And like I got it in my own way. I started off at YouTube and then now I got three different platforms all over 10K. So it's like things like reveal themselves in ways that you would never think.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And just like um to piggyback off of that, what is so you struggled to kind of dip below one, you split that 146 at where was it? It
I mean,
was
it was Drake
Drake
Relays a while
relays. Yeah,
back.
you split that 146. You had the picture of you like,
I was going crazy.
yeah, like and so what is like what do you think was the biggest thing holding you back from breaking 147? And just like
The
biggest
biggest
flaw
thing,
overall as like a runner.
bro, I seriously think that it was just like overthinking, bro. Um, so that was a crazy weekend, bro. Like I want to tell you the lore about that weekend. So
Okay.
going into that weekend, right? That year was the first ever year that I ran like 147. Like that indoor season, I went to Arkansas and I ran sub 148 for the first ever time, right? And then I
Hmm.
wasn't able to do it again. And I was mad. I was like, dang, like I did it once, I could definitely do it again. And then bam, outdoor season comes, right? I ran 147 at the first meet. I'm like, okay, I feel good. But then the next meet I go to, I run like 148. And I'm like, dang, like that sucked. Like I just ran 148. Like I know I got more in the tank. And the week before Drake relays, we're doing this one workout outside, bro. And it was so cold because in Nebraska, like it's just like Illinois or any Midwest school. Like it was just so cold out. The wind is blowing. And our coach gave us some like crazy stuff. We had like 8 by 300 at like 39 seconds. And then we had to do a 600 at like 125. We had two of those. And he was just
Gosh.
giving us some crazy stuff, and the wind is blowing in our ear. Like I can't even hear nothing. I'm like, bro, like why do I even do track? And then that same weekend of Drake relays, me and my one buddy at the time, Nick. Remember how I was like celebrating, going crazy?
Mhm. Yeah.
He was in the background. He was the tall guy, and he
Yeah.
split 45 because it was an SMR, the sprint medley
Yeah.
relay. So it was like 200, 200, 400, 800.
Yeah.
And me and him had this stupid idea of, well, yo, we should throw like a party. And so we paid like a DJ. We paid for party buses and for a venue that night. And our coach was like, "Yo, I'm not gonna lie. If you guys don't perform like at Drake relays, like you guys are in mad trouble because we were in so much like we were in such like we had so many problems with the school and the university because like they didn't want us throwing this party and things like that. So we had like so many outside factors like weighing down on us. But like as soon as we stepped onto that track, bro, like I saw my family in the crowd. I saw all my coaches watching. I saw all the competition. I saw the cameras, like everybody cheering. I just like got into the zen like mode, bro, where like yeah, oh, I can't lose this race. Like and like when I got that baton, bro, and we were in last. Like Nick, what happened was the first leg they dropped the handoff, right? They dropped the baton on the track. So
Yeah.
we were in last place from 200 to 400. Nick split 45-3 and put me within like striking range. So I got the baton in sixth and I immediately jumped to third. Like that was the easiest 52-second 400 I've ever felt my entire life. I felt like I was floating. And like it was the perfect weather outside. It was sunny, like there wasn't a cloud in the sky, there was no wind, but like bro, I literally felt like I was floating. And when I came around 500, I literally just dead started sprinting the entire way home. And like when I was on that straightaway and everybody starts like going crazy and screaming and blah blah blah, like I felt bro next to me about to pass, and like something in me just told me to just dive. Like I've never done that before in track. I've never like front flipped into like the finish line, but like all those things, bro, your subconscious is so much smarter than your conscious will ever be. Like I was on autopilot that entire time. Like I wasn't telling myself, "Oh, I'm gonna kick at 500. I'm gonna do this." Like my body was just doing it. And like that was just like one of the most surreal out of body experiences I've ever felt because like I really didn't feel like I was in control of my body. Like my body just took over and I was just there.
Flow
And then
state.
bam. So like maybe that's the key to
The
running
flow state.
146, just like
Yeah.
literally just letting your body do what your body knows how to do, because it's
Mhm.
always the races where like I try to force it, I try to kick at a certain time, or I try to plan for other people's moves. Like you can't plan those type of things, bro. You have to just react naturally. And so that's probably the best advice I got for myself going forward is just like,
Mhm.
just like go with the flow, be natural about it. And that's honestly what they talk about at Penn State. Like my buddy Handel, when he ran that 142, he didn't go into that race plan to run 142. He was just trying to catch Brandon Miller going down the final stretch, right? And he ends up going 51, 51, celebrating. He's like, let's go. I just broke the school record. And he looks up, he sees 142. He's like, dang, 142. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just different levels. Different
Because
levels,
like
bro.
when you do it, you won't even know that you
Exactly.
like it just happens like that. And Brandon Miller, that's a crazy name to chase down. He got
Dog.
locked down by Cooper at USA's this year,
I
but like
know. I know.
yeah, that's a beautiful thing though. Like just man, where you just let your body take over and like run the race as you should. Because I know I've when I was watching one of your videos where you had a journal where you make a race plan, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then so I used to do that exact same thing, but then the thing is that like every race like is not gonna go according to your plan. And I think
Exactly.
that when you try to intentionally like it's just going through the phases, like go
Yeah,
through your phases, remember, and then your body's gonna remember from muscle memory. Like
exactly.
so when you remember when you try to run like 140 whatever,
Mhm.
do you try to remember what it felt like to run X time and like go back to that race, or do you like be in a new headspace?
I think that every single time I can show up to the line, bro, I just try to go into like a new headspace because the thing is like my body, it recognizes how to run at certain things, right? Like I know that like I gotta be at 24 to 25 seconds for the first 200. I know I gotta be at 51 to 52 seconds for 400, and then so on and so forth for 600. And so like it's one of those things, bro, where it's like my body's gonna do it naturally. It's just my headspace has to be in the right position to just react to moves. Like that's what I'm doing the entire time throughout the race. Like there's going to be instances where people are going to cut you off. There's going to be instances where people are going to get out too fast. And it's your job, like as an 800-meter runner, to just like react to those moves. It's your job to determine, like, yo, like, should I go with this guy? Should I stay back? Should I be more aggressive? Should I be more conservative? Like, it's just like all the time that you spend practicing all those other like races, like those are all experience, and your body like remembers it. Like everything is muscle memory when it comes to track, like it's pretty funny because like you can be in the best shape, bro, but if mentally you aren't in the race, if mentally you're not locked in, that like everything's gonna go like ridiculously wrong. Like there's been races that I've won and gotten away with when I was not in the best shape. The only reason I won is because I either had a better strategy or I just honestly just had a better move. And like there's some races where I will run 815 or 820 meters and I'll lose, and I'll like shave off, or I'll lose 2 seconds because I was doing something stupid. And then there's races where like I just felt terrible. I had a terrible week of training. I ate terrible, and I'll show up and I'll like run something crazy just because I stayed in lane one the entire time or planned it better. So like, I honestly, to answer your question in the short, it's honestly just a new headspace every single time and just react.
Yeah, because and I also think that is when it comes together when it comes together on the day
Yeah,
because that 146 really came together on the day. Like you said, it was perfect weather. Like, your boy set you up 45-3 to strike, and it's just like you had all these external factors. There's something about in life when like you have your back against the wall and like you just really have to like, yeah, I have no choice. Something about
exactly.
that genuinely just makes you like it just makes you pop up. What did your coach say after that? So
Bro, he was so happy. I've never seen that dude smile like that in his entire life. Because he was I mean, all the coaches were super happy. I remember
yeah.
specifically my head coach, because my head coach was real mad about us throwing the party. He at the time, like 2 weeks before that, he called me and he was just like, "This is a terrible idea. You got to shut it down." Blah blah blah. And we had a target on our backs, bro. But right when we did that race, like he was so happy, he forgot all about it, and he never questioned us about it ever again because we balled out. We won the race. And I PR'd and we all looked good. And it's just funny, bro, because like you said, bro, when like all those external factors line up and the stars align, like crazy things happen, crazy like successful things happen. Like I never ran an SMR my entire life. Like I didn't even know what I was gonna do, how I was gonna do it, but it just happened. And like it came out with a new PR, came out with a new YouTube vid out of it. Like it's crazy how it all worked out.
Yeah, and it's like really, I remember you saying with fitness, like sometimes you're gonna feel bad, sometimes you're gonna feel good, but like when it hits, you know. So, but the only
Yeah,
thing that those moments are cool, but the only thing that you can really rely on is like consistent, and especially that locked in feeling.
yeah,
From because I'm a like cross, I'm from a 16, 17 guy. Like,
yeah.
I'm like low twos and eight. I'm not doing nothing crazy right now, but like
Uh-huh.
from that perspective, like from that time to your time is like it's the same mindset of like if you don't come and you're not locked in, like you
Yeah.
get to the line and you're like, I don't really want to run this. Like
Right.
it's like it's not gonna click. But those races
Exactly.
where you're like, it's that day, like it's that time, and you're locked in, and you might not even have done what it is that you were supposed to do that whole week. Like when you have a good and bad week, like
Right.
or a
Right.
good and bad day. When you have a bad day and you're just like, or a week of bad day, and you're just like on that day, you're
Yeah.
ready. You can take it from a 145 guy or 144 guy because if he's not ready, yeah. But I
Telling you, I
think
didn't sleep that entire week, bro. Like that entire week, I was just up all night. Just,
it'd be
bro, I
like that,
wasn't,
bro.
bro. I was just tossing and turning. Like my sleep score had to be just like terrible that week because I just couldn't sleep because I was so anxious about the party. I knew the
Mhm.
family was gonna be there. I wasn't trying to let nobody down. We were trying to win Drake relays. Like so many things built up into it, bro. But like you said, if you're ready on that day, you're gonna show up and you're gonna show out.
Right. And it's really that like I don't know what it is, like the waiting till this is a terrible idea. I'm not saying this is good, but
Let's
it's
hear
like there's something about when the assignment is due at 11:59
it.
and like it's
Yo.
11:50 and you gotta put something together. That feeling,
Uh-huh.
it takes you to great heights. I don't know what it is, but
I'm a crazy procrastinator, bro. So that speaks to me on another level. I'm telling you.
but it is the discipline that saves us from that position though, you know? So
Exactly.
but you gotta because that's what built you up to be able to shoot off when you know. But yeah, that's real cool though. Um and then just switching gears. I saw this I don't know if it was a year ago.
Yeah.
Um the there was a video where you mentioned like, okay, running six flat for like the quote
Oh, the
recovery
recovery
run.
run.
That really rubbed people the wrong way.
Yeah,
People were
bro.
coming for my goat. I was like, yo, what are y'all doing, bro? Like what you see the Strava, you see his heart rate, but nah,
I'm
like
dead.
he's obviously good with it. Like, but nah. Did you want to clarify what it is that you meant by that while you're
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. During that time period, I was on a big like content creation kick, right? And
Mhm,
so I was just posting anything and everything I could even think of in that moment. And
mhm,
so when it came to the recovery runs, like so here at Penn State, now we got these things called steady runs. Steady runs can be six flat. or steady runs can be 520. However you're feeling that day, that's your steady run. You do it for about like 4 to even 7 miles. And so going back to Nebraska, I had no idea what the difference was between a recovery run or a steady run
Hmm.
or a tempo run. Like I literally would, my coach would go out there. My training was a lot different back then because I went through 5 coaches in Nebraska, and so every single year I had a new coach, and so they all had different philosophies. But basically, they would just go out there and tell me like, just go run 5 to 6 miles, however you feel. And so they would call it recovery runs on paper. And so different times I would feel crazy good during the recovery runs, and I would just blur all my recovery runs. I would just go like 550, I go six flat, 630, 645. Like I would do just however I felt that day. And
Yeah.
so I if I were to go back, bro, I would definitely not have said recovery runs. Like if I were
Yeah.
to go back and to clarify to everybody, bro, that's not my recovery place. I'm not no pre-Fontaine fitness.
Yeah.
I'm not that cracked. Like okay, some guys, right? Let's take a Medi for example. From he used to go to Oklahoma State.
Okay.
He's a 145 guy. He told me
Mhm.
he's like some days, bro, we rip like 605, 615 like recovery runs. You look at Hassan from Wisconsin, and he went to Mississippi State. Some
Yeah.
of his recovery runs, bro, they're around the 615, 610 pace too. Like he can rip those.
Hmm.
It's honestly preference, and but like knowing that I have a younger audience and knowing that like obviously like the 1% of the 1% are ripping those like recovery runs, I definitely should not have said it because looking at it from like the outside point of view, looking at it, if I was in high school and looking at me saying that, I'd be like, yo, this guy's tripping. Like he's splurting, not like saying nonsense. So like I should have taken that into perspective because like
Yeah.
not everybody's a 140 like seven, a 146, like a
But
145,
then
800 meter
on the
runner.
other hand, you do have to, I mean, like you were saying, like, oh, as a, you should be doing, like, but then there's the thought process that's like, he's running 147 and I'm running this. So there should have been the common sense to be able to say that maybe mine isn't going to be his, but like they were coming at you for that. I remember that. But
Bro, yeah, I got a hate
and
video
people
made for me
really
out
I
of
feel
that.
like they really underestimate like how much coaching philosophy plays into everybody's understanding because especially with your audience, you speak to a real distance base. Like
Yeah,
as I'm saying, like I found you as a cross country runner, cross country going doing 4x8 everywhere. Like
yeah,
so you're speaking to mainly like and then so they're kind of more inclined to like the aerobic base and think and just like more educated on training than a sprinter maybe. So when
right.
they hear things like that, they're like, "Oh, this is the holy grail." They said run mine at 8 flat. So is it? And like the thing I'm learning is basically preference. All right, welcome back. We're back. Commercial break.
Yeah, my headphones died too, so I had to switch my audio too.
Okay, yeah, I got you. But yeah. So like that was really just like. It depends on who's training you and like what that looks like. And like distance runners just have more knowledge of like what it is that they're doing. So when they hear recovery, they're like, oh, but like you should be able to kind of understand that like your base is different than other guys. But like I know I see like I follow a lot of pro runners on Strava. Like I see Marco, like Grant, like Grant Fisher, he's like ripping like crazy runs at like 520 pace. He's like PRing in the five. He's running my PRs
Yeah,
for his recovery. So it's like, okay, you should be able to kind of create that difference. But speaking to your audience as well, like to switch gears again, what
yeah.
advice would you give them to break? I know you've made like several videos about this. You was on a little whiteboard drawing it out for the race
Yes, bro, I was
strategy.
on my teaching mode.
Yeah, you was like a real coach with it. But what is
Right.
your advice to for somebody to break two in the 800?
Bro, breaking two in the 800. I'm trying to think back to how I did it for the very first time, but breaking two, at least for me, how it worked was honestly going 57, like 62, honestly. Like trying to even split it, bro, is hard because like even split it by like 1 second, I'm trying to say. Like if you go 59, 60 and you do it easily, like you definitely can go way faster than that. Like I think if you open it up fast and you have people in your race, the race is set up properly, and you have competition going down the final straightaway, like you're gonna break two. But doing it alone is like one of the most difficult things to like ever do, bro. Like you need the right competition in the field. Looking at it from a time standpoint, you got to get out from
I'm trying to think how you would get out back then. Like probably like 28 seconds and then 29 seconds to make it 57. And then at 600 you need to be like what? Like one you got to be like probably 128, 127
Mhm.
and then just hang on for your life those last two, man. Like it's just like literally that's just like that's my thing. It's like how do you win 146? It's like, bro, like yeah, 52, 54 sounds great on paper, but going out there and actually doing it, bro, it's a completely
Going
different
step by
feeling.
step. Oh yeah, we're about to split that. Yeah, that's completely different.
It's so hard. It's so much easier said than done. But honestly, you just got to go out there and be a competitor. Like you can break any time period you want on any given day. It's just more or less like, is your body ready to do it? Like, is your training doesn't make sense for you to do it in that specific time period? There's so many factors that go into it. But like, just literally when you get to that line, bro, just be ready for anything to happen. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. So, like, just side question from that.
Yeah.
You think it's because some people, like, I've gone through both mindsets. You think when you're trying to get a time, the best thing to do is compete or to focus on the time that you want.
I'm always gonna say compete. Like
Okay.
literally, you go out there, you compete. Like that's where you get the times. Like when I ran that
Hmm.
146, I wasn't going out there. Said, all right, I gotta go split 146. It was out there. I'm gonna go compete. Like my buddy, he got the baton in last place. I watched him go from like 12th place all the way to like third place, bro. And then so I'm like, oh, I can't sell. I can't sell my teammate. You know, like that
Yeah,
competitive spirit took over. And then bam, I just didn't want to lose. And I just look up at the clock and it happened to say a new PR. It happened to say 146. Like, dang, I wasn't even thinking about that 146. I was just trying to catch that dude ahead of me, you know?
exactly.
So yeah, it's always I would always, man, just go out there and compete. That's all track's about.
That's real. That's real. I ain't gonna lie. That's a bar. But, yeah, like, I also think breaking two is different for what type of person you are as well. Because like you said, you've always been a speed guy. So
Right.
you've always been a 4.8 type of person.
Mm,
So with the audience that watches me, with the audience that watches you,
yeah.
I think like even like that could work for them because they're more aerobically like kind of in check with things. But for speed, if you're like a four, if you're a four dude, coach moves you up to the eight,
Right.
the Nico way might be the, it all depends, but really
Yeah.
like you said, like it's all just like compete, go out. You got people there, you can do great things, like you said.
I know guys who negative split their first time breaking two. Like, like heck, I mean, I know I keep on talking about like super fast time, but like Will Sumner when he ran 144 back in the
I
2020.
I remember that. I remember
Bro, he went 50. What'd he go? He was like,
53.
yeah, 53, 51. That doesn't even
Yeah.
make any sense.
He
Like,
went 53 high and then sped up.
yeah,
And
he crashed out
I
those last like 400 meters, bro. And every single like handle, the 142 guy, like, whenever like I say his name, bro, he looks up at me like that he's some sort of like ancient like ritual, bro, because like he gets like PT because he was in that race. He
yeah,
ran 145 in that race. So he got mad PTSD from that race. He's like, I've never seen nobody do that before. Like go out there, lead the race from start to finish. It's not like he was starting in the back of the pack and then sped up. It was he led it from the jump, dictated
wire to
the
wire.
pace, and then just dropped everybody. Like that's unheard of.
Like
And so,
wire to wire. He let it and
bro,
I remember like just like the ease that it looked like he was running, the like how relaxed he was,
yeah,
and like how just like in the moment he was when he did that. And then
yeah,
like, cause like I've seen Yusuf behind him, Yusuf Bizimana,
yeah,
like,
bro.
and dude is like, he looks like he's giving everything he has to keep up with him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like, he went out slow.
Dog. I mean, you just got to put it into perspective because think about it. Yusuf, right? Yusuf is on, I think it was one of his last years, might have been his second to last year. That's like the first time ever that the NCAA track championships was ever held at Texas. That was like the one off year where it was at Texas. And he felt like he had everything to prove, right? Like he was banking on winning that race because it was his home crowd. He has never won a national title before. And then you take Will Sumner's perspective, right? His first 800 that season outdoors was like 151. He came off just making indoor nationals and running 147 as like a freshman, right? Indoors. And so he runs 151 and he takes like I think like a month off of the eight. He doesn't touch the eight until conference. He goes to conference and walks it, bro. 146. Everyone's like, yo, what the heck? Who is this guy? Goes to regional, walks that too, another 146. You're like, all right, this guy might be onto something. Then drops a bomb at nationals, beats Yusuf in his own stadium, and then turns pro. Like, like you got
Well,
to be a villain in
I'm
some of
not
these
gonna
sports.
lie. that was crazy to see because I remember seeing, bro, my freshman year on Mile Split, on the Mile Split website where it was like 800, Will Sumner 151. And then my coach would talk about him. I didn't really know then because I was like, I didn't know ball then. I
Into it,
wasn't
right,
in, yeah. And then seeing him, I'm like, yo, he was at the, you
bro,
know,
bro.
that was actually crazy to see.
Telling you, things can change just like that, bro. Like everybody's got a different path for like this track thing. Everybody's got a different story, but that was like one of the most non-traditional, craziest, best seasons I've ever seen. That was my first ever year running track in college, by the way, because I
Mhm.
got hurt my freshman year. So like his
Yeah,
freshman year was also my redshirt freshman year.
yeah.
And seeing that live, like I went to where was I at, bro? I was at Texas Tech and it was the first meet of the indoor season, my first ever collegiate one indoors, and I ran something stupid. I ran like a 153 and I was in the 4x4 and I was mad because I wasn't in the heat with Will. I wanted to race him.
Hmm.
And I watched him go 148 for his first ever college race. And I was so mad, bro. I'm like, bro, he just ran 148 and I just ran 153, bro. What am I doing? And then I watched him split like 45 on the 4x4 later. I'm like, all right, never mind. This guy's on a different level. This
This
guy's on
he's something else, man. Like.
exactly.
Yeah. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how like to this day, but we live and we learn. I love seeing it like and just seeing people like contribute to this sport that we love like that. Even if it's not you, even if it's not one of my other people, like it's like it's so cool to see people out there doing stuff like that. But
Bro, different things
um
inspire you. That made me hungry. Watching Will do that, bro, that got me hungry. Like that was before I did content, before I broke 150, before all that. Like seeing him go out there and ball, I'm like, yo, like I want to get there one day. Like I want to try to do the same things. And have I ran 144 and negative split a 53 to a 51? No, but like crazy things can always happen, bro. Like everybody gets it in their own way.
And I don't, th and it's like when you're sitting here you're grinding, like I always think of the picture of the you're mining, and then it's like the dude with the diamonds in the ear. You're right, like that. That's what that feels like. It's like everybody is sitting waiting for their lottery. They're waiting for their ticket. They're waiting for their takeoff. But really, like I'm here to say why we rock with Nico is not because like I he failed to do X, Y, Z or whatever like that. But it's because you stayed disciplined, you stayed trying, like you stayed trying. You went down in the dungeon in mind to get to that, you know? And it's because like even the time does not matter. It's the process because like what that makes you is something completely different. Like, and it's something that everybody has to go through from me trying to break two, from you trying to break 147. Like it is the same situation where we're all just like going at it, trying to be better every single day. I think that's what it's really about, and who in the way that you do it, that kind of place, right? What do you think is your biggest failure in your career, and where, like, how have you learned from it to be who you are today? That's not.
Man, biggest I'm gonna take a pivot of that and then I'm gonna lead it into what I want to get to.
Hmm.
Like in track, right? Like from the moment you start, everything's time based, bro. It's the only sport like ever where like it's strictly just off of the numbers, like on a board. And so like from the moment you start track, bro, you're always chasing the number. Like when I first started track and I ran like a 213 or 219, right? My first goal was like, all right, I want to break two. And then I'll be satisfied, right? And then I finally broke two. It was like, dang, that was cool. But now I want to break 150. Bam, do that, right? And it wasn't until I met the 142 guy that I'm telling you about, Handle, where I asked him how he felt about his performance when he ran 142. He's like, 142 is cool and all, bro. He's like, but I'm still like 13th in the world. Like I'm trying to be number one. I got to be a 141 guy, right? And I was just thinking, I'm like, yo, like in track, you're never gonna be satisfied no matter what barrier you break because you could have always done things a little bit better. You could have ate better, you could have slept better, you could have trained a little bit better, you could have leaned more at the line, right? You're never going to be satisfied. And it's just like what you said, it's about the journey, right? And so one of the biggest failures I've always had was just me chasing time and failing to just be like a competitor. Because like when I'm competitive and I'm like want to be there and I'm happy and I'm like I'm in that mode, like that's what makes track so enjoyable for me. But like I felt like I robbed myself out of a lot of really good experiences, like to perform good because mentally I was just so in my head. Like especially during championship season, these last like 2, 3 years in Nebraska, every single regionals that I've ever ran at, bro, like I just mentally would just fizzle out. And I wouldn't say that it was nothing with my fitness. Like, yeah, I had like a bunch of coaching changes. It was just more or less just like fatigue and just mental burnout. Like think about like your entire doing all your college work for 2 semesters, all the races you've ever ran. Like I ran so many 800s and so many different races, and like the biggest one that actually counts, like for some reason mentally I would just never show up. And that honestly was just like a confidence thing. Like I would go there and I would just think like, dang, like I'm not good enough to go to nationals, and I would psych myself out of that. And I think that that has been my biggest failure, honestly. It's just like not believing in myself in those really big races, like the ones that actually matter.
Okay. And it's like it's hard from a D1 stance to be like the result doesn't matter because it does. Like you're there for a reason. But in
Yeah.
the same sense, you don't get the result without knowing that the result is not what it is not what like that's not the goal. Like the goal is that you were consistent. The goal is that you showed up for yourself every single day. Like, because that's all you have, you know?
That's all you can
Like,
do.
because these 800s can go as many, that's fate, basically. Like, it's like, okay, let's see what we get from this one, you know? But
Go for the dog, bro.
it feels like that little COD wheel that I used to play when I got on COD. You get it and you get the different packs and stuff. Like, it's so just like, okay, like out in the open, but like what stays with you is being consistent in those late nights.
Yeah, bro. I mean, that's all it is at the end of the day. I mean, like you said, like, yeah, it would have been cool to get the result, but like, you got to think of everything like you've accomplished over like that time period. Because it's like, dang, I didn't do good at the one race I wanted to, but you look at all the other things I've done, like all the other things I've accomplished throughout my college career. Like, I can sit back and be content because my biggest thing was like, I want people to know like who I was as a runner. And I want them to like be inspired by the content that I make. Because like if you look at my content, it's not very traditional in the sense of like I'm making content for these millions of views on some Mr. Beast type stuff. Like, could I make content like that and gas it up and never post my bad races, never post my losses? Like, yeah, but like my biggest thing is like I want to post both sides of the coin. Like I want to show that like okay, I lost this race. I messed up in this training thing. This thing went wrong. So that when I get that victory, when I finally PR, everyone is like, dang, like he showed all the bad things, like the realistic point of views, like how things actually felt. And then bang, once he accomplished it, he's like, dang, like that was crazy. Like that's so cool to see him accomplish it. Let me go out there and try that myself. Like the point of my videos, honestly, is like to honestly go get it yourself. Like get up off your couch and then put in the work and like inspire to be something that you didn't think you could be. Like that's like I always think like if I was watching myself back in the day, like what would I want to see? And that's the type of content
That's exactly the point I make my videos from. Like what pain do I have? And then that's actually a great segue into the next thing. I only got like two more questions, but um with that, like what is it that Nico wants to do after pros? Like what do you feel that like your purpose is in like even just in life, like if you would want to work after, if you would want to build a business, like what is it that you're going to do after this?
Man, that's a great
Like,
question. That's been something I've been asking myself for a minute too. I'm not even gonna lie. And then you hit it on the head. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna attempt to turn pro. Let's say I have a pro career, like just for an example, and then like I retire at like let's say like age like 28 or something, right? Let's say I run pro for the next like 6 years, go to the Olympics in 2028, and then I make it for like my grand finale in 2032, and then bam, I'm done, right? Afterwards, bro, I definitely want to go down the entrepreneurship route. In Nebraska, I got my degree in marketing, and as you can see, like when it comes to like the editing and things like that, they never taught me that, bro. I taught myself all that stuff. Nebraska taught me like the entrepreneurial startup stuff, the business stuff, like the things on paper that look good. But mine, I just taught myself how to just build an audience, and so my goal is to combine the two, possibly open up either a marketing agency or I guess want to open up some sort of a business that kind of does what my YouTube does now. It inspires like the next generation of runners, right? And maybe my business won't be about, running at all, but how can I change the world in a positive way? And I do not have all the answers for that right now. I've been trying to search for one, bro, but it's really hard when you're balancing so many things on your plate. But honestly, bro, whatever I do in the future, I just hope that is driving for a positive change, like in the world, and hopefully I can be at the forefront of that business, leading a great group of people to just inspire people to do better.
very well said. Very well said. And like just in general, like what is just to end off, like what do you want to leave with the audience today?
Leave with the audience today.
Mhm.
Oh man, I gotta think on this one. Honestly, for everybody watching, like it's so cliche to say because everyone like who makes it and always says like I wasn't the biggest, I wasn't the strongest, I wasn't the fastest, but like literally, bro, like that's almost how it felt for me. like coming out of like my hometown and things like that, just because like there wasn't a lot of people in my hometown who really made it, and you have so many different like, avenues to go down, right? Like I got friends all the way from like successful content creators who are bringing in thousands of dollars a month, and I also got friends who like were like the man in high school who were like the stars, and then now they literally do nothing. They haven't done, they wasted their talent basically, right? But every single one of the like the people you grow around and grow up with, like they all have like choices to do better, right? And falling short to influence and like falling short to like the negative things around you, like it's such like a tough thing to say no to, especially when it's around the people that you love. Like imagine coming up with your day ones and then like you see them fall short and you see them like not accomplishing their goals and they try to bring you down with you. Like and like having to leave your day ones behind, bro, to chase like a better version of yourself. That's one of the most difficult things you had to do. And that's something that I had to do. I had to turn down so many fun opportunities, so many parties, so many like things that would have drastically changed the course of like my life. Like I had to turn that down in that moment for like a better future. And then now I'm here talking to you today, like, and I have an audience and I have like people that look up to me and are inspired by the things I do. And like I wouldn't change that for the world. And so that's honestly the best advice I got. It's like stay true to yourself and what you believe in and who you want to be, because like nobody else is gonna do it for you. Like nobody's gonna save you. And like sometimes like saying no is like the best thing that you can do to like fulfill your purpose, fulfill like what it is that you want to become.
That's great, man. All
It
right.
was that was deep. It was deep. I know
Yeah,
that.
that was deep. I ain't gonna lie, that hit.
I
Nah, but all right, man. I appreciate you for joining us today. Hopefully we can have another conversation after the 144. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll see. We'll see in the future. But yeah, thank you for coming today, man.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for the invite, man. And like you said, after the 144, we'll reconnect, get another podcast going.
Right, of course, man. All right, hold on. I did have Jaden's question after, but
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
after the thing. So, all right, thank you, Nico.
Yeah, see you guys. Thank you for listening.